Hello and welcome to my channel. So I've had this YouTube channel for several years now. Not necessarily in the way that a typical person would make a YouTube channel who wants to be a YouTube creator. I mainly made them, if my memory serves me correctly, to create my reels because I actually just finished 2 years as a small news reporter in West Virginia. And I'm now back in my childhood home, unemployed, as many people are right now. It's kind of a tough time out there if you haven't checked lately, but I wanted to do a get ready with me, get to know me video because I didn't really know where to start. If you look at my channel, you see my professional reels, boring, and then you see some vlogs I did in college with kind of no context to who I am. So I'm just gonna do my makeup for no reason because I have no job and will not be leaving home. I literally just got out of the shower and I thought it would be fun to do my makeup today. And also, I want to be like a beauty person who doesn't have perfect skin. I love beauty YouTubers. That's part of what inspired this. I watch a lot of Tati, a lot of Nikki tutorials. Simply Nailogical is a beauty guru in my book. But they all have really nice skin. Manny MUA, great skin, all of them. Mia Maples, look at this. That's called hormonal acne. I guess I usually start with this eye cream. I don't know if it does anything. This is L'Oreal Eye Defense. I got it at Walmart. I do have one of these rollers. Don't know if I'm using it right, but I'm just gonna start with that. These feel really good. I don't know if there's any science behind them, but if you have some money to invest in one, I think it's a really good part of your self-care routine. Anyway, like I said, I just finished 2 years of reporting in West Virginia. I was a TV reporter for a local TV station, which sounds really cool, but is really actually exhausting and draining and emotionally destroying. But I made lots of really good friends there and I learned a lot. It's kind of what inspired me to want to do more creative video work, because when you're creating news stories, the turnaround is one day you're just trying to get factual information out there with interesting video and you need to put it all together in a matter of hours. So it's not very creative as much as it is efficient. Because I've always dreamt of this. I mean, the first YouTube video I remember watching is Charlie the Unicorn. I don't know if that's problematic today. I haven't rewatched it, so don't at me. Huge fan and still am a fan of Dan and Phil. That's mainly the only people I watched for years. And then in college, when I started to want to do makeup and I was looking for tips and tricks, I got into beauty gurus like Nikki Tutorials, Tati, Manny MUA. Sophia Nygaard. Found her on BuzzFeed, followed her when she left, liked her videos a lot. She did a nail tutorial from Simply Nailogical, who is now one of my all-time favorites as well. My junior year, I would get really just stressed. I'm gonna go in with this CeraVe lotion. Simply Nailogical got me through a very stressful time my junior year of college. I'd just really gotten into my major because I transferred the second semester of my sophomore year from an acting major in Chicago to a broadcast journalism major at Point Park University. So anytime I was just like stressed and anxious, because I am an anxious person, I have anxiety, OCD, depression, so I deal with a lot of that. Her videos would just cheer me up. Anyway, we're gonna move on now to primer. I didn't use primer for a really long time, and then just through watching different YouTubers who recommend it, I thought it would be good, especially I'm dropping everything. So the primer I've been using is the e.l.f. Putty primer. I think really the purpose of this is definitely just to fill those bigger pore areas that you want to blur. So right in here, maybe on your nose. I use some on my forehead. So this is Maybelline Master Prime Blur and Smooth. And this is like pretty moisturizing. It feels like a lotion. It definitely has dimethicone in it, which is an ingredient you'll hear about from a lot of other YouTubers that blurs the skin. But unlike the Putty primer, it's not like super thick, and I haven't noticed it cause any breakouts. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with that Putty primer. You can see that it looks literally like silly putty, and you dig it out, and it's very thick. So you definitely want to use it sparingly. I have read in reviews that people say it makes them break out. I would think if you're using a lot of it all over your face, that would be the case. So, you know, different things work for different people. I suggest using it sparingly in those areas you have a lot of visible pores and things like that. I think maybe it could help with fine lines as well. And so instead of going right in with foundation, I'm going to let that sit and maybe go in with my brows. Okay, I'm very not good at brows, so before anybody comes for me, I know these are bad. I know. Usually I just kind of hope that by the time I get to the end, I've covered them up with other things. So speaking of other things, we're going to go in with a sponge. I have been wanting to try foundation brushes to see if I like them more, like the finish and things like that. I really haven't tried that. I really have a limited collection of brushes with me. So for now I just use a sponge. But if you have any recommendations for a foundation brush, drop it below. So we wet the sponge. I usually like to let it kind of like dry a little bit. I don't want to put too much water on my face. Wow, on camera and in the mirror. These are big brows that don't match. We're gonna move on. It's okay. We're gonna just keep trucking on. I tried to carve them out. I don't know how to do that. This is e.l.f. 16-hour Camo Concealer. It's so good. I highly recommend it. Don't use it all over the face because it is heavy. Use it sparingly where you need it. So for me, like under my eyes, covering up trouble areas, things like that. Definitely wouldn't use it like too heavily in the corners either, because I do find that it gets cakey and creases a bit. So be careful with this concealer. Now I did say this would be a get to know me. Well, my name's Casey Houlihan. I don't even know if I said that, but it is at the head of my channel. I'm a triplet. That's usually my fun fact that I come with. And I have a brother and sister. We're all in our 20s, currently all living at home, which I guess is like a trend with millennials or whatever. I did live in West Virginia for 2 years. I miss my apartment. I don't miss West Virginia. So this stuff is really powerful, so you definitely want to try to blend it out as much as you can. Although the foundation will help with that. I know a lot of people do, most people do, foundation and then concealer. I found that this works better for me. Now we're gonna move on to foundation. I don't necessarily love this foundation, although it served me pretty well. This is a Revlon ColorStay 24 Hours in the shade 110 for combination and oily skin. I got it for $3 at Big Lots, so it's been serving me well. I do like the pump. I think that is one of the easier ways to kind of control how much foundation you're getting out at once. It has kind of like a painty scent to it, which I know people aren't wild about. There's a very famous, I think, photo finish Wet n Wild concealer. Tati talks about it all the time. It's like $3. It works really well, although it's a bit drying. It smells horrible. I look like Helga from Hey Arnold. Honestly, love her. So to kind of set the more problem areas, I don't bake, but I do set it. I'm using Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent Powder. Very affordable, giant kind of component for it. You get lots of product in here. I'm not sure how many ounces. Let's see, 0.70 ounces. So you get a ton of product because you do not need a lot. Definitely want to go sparingly. I take it on a sponge and I blend it in immediately. Instead of baking, I kind of just spread the love here. I guess another thing about me is that I used to do theater. I was an acting major. I did a lot of plays in high school. I freaking love theater, Broadway, plays, all that jazz. And I'm hoping in my time off between now and my next job, I get to do some theater. You can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and not on Facebook. I only have a personal Facebook, but Instagram and Twitter, I would love for you to give me a follow. I post a lot about my dog, especially now that I'm home. His name is Teddy. He's a very good boy. Also Fiona, she is a 12-year-old red Boston Terrier who we inherited from my grandma, and she is our spoiled little princess. Okay, so next we're gonna move into the, why couldn't I think of the words? Bronzer, blush, and highlight. I'm a girl who loves a bargain. I was looking for new bronzer. Previously, I was using e.l.f.'s Primer Infused Forever Sun-Kissed bronzer. I did like this. It's hard when you're really pale. You like can easily skew into that orange area. So it's hard for me to find shades. Everybody raves about Physicians Formula. On sale is their collection with Casey Holmes. It comes with eyeshadow, blush, bronzer, highlighter. There's perfume and this, I keep wanting to say Moo. It's Marumu Butter kind of lipstick. I love this. I love this. I'll repurchase this. It smells so good. Okay. So I usually like to do bronzer first. I only have one fluffy brush like this, so I use it for powder and then I use it for bronzer. So we're gonna go in there. I usually start on my cheeks and work it up into kind of the perimeters of my face. I don't claim to be good at this. My boyfriend thinks I am, but it's probably because he loves me and knows nothing about makeup. I do really enjoy it though, so I thought that would be the most simple and fun way to do a first video on my channel. I do have one other video called A Good Day in Quarantine. You can check that out. That was when I was still living in West Virginia, so a good day looks a little different now. I just kind of wanted to capture my time living in this global pandemic. I'm also a big podcasting fan. I do have my own podcast with my boyfriend and best friend, Eddie Trezino. It's called In Case You Missed It. We basically just talk about different pop culture, things we're consuming, why we like it. We usually recap The Bachelor. That's kind of on hold right now. But yeah, check it out. Right now we're watching Pixar movies from start to finish, all 20 some of them. We're almost to the end. It's been very fun. So now we're going to go into the blush. And this is the Copacabana Butter Blush. One thing about this palette is it does get a little messy, but you can clean it off pretty easily. I tend to go a little heavy-handed on the blush by accident. A little bit more. And that's the one thing is like it's kind of dim lighting in here. I don't even have that beauty guru lighting. So in natural lighting, things are always going to look different. So I feel like that's really important to remember when you're doing your makeup. And then if you think like, oh, my blush is too much or not blended, a quick trick that usually works pretty well is taking the Beauty Blender that still has some powder on it and kind of going over it and really getting in there. I've been using pretty exclusively the Profusion Mattes palette. My boyfriend got it for me. You can get it at Walmart. It has 24 eyeshadows. I'm pretty sure it's very budget friendly. It comes with this really nice fluffy eyeshadow brush that works really well for blending. Okay, now that brush is clean, I'm gonna go in with Sugar and Gentle, which are just these lighter shades here. Just kind of create a base. Next, I'm going to go into a mix of Doll and Adventurous, just a nice kind of camel-y tone, kind of like this tone, to go into my crease. It's a good transition shade for my skin tone. Both creases kind of where I want them to be at, I get to go in with kind of a darker color to define the outer edge and the inner corner. I like to do the kind of halo look where you put the light shimmer on the lid in the middle. Usually for the outer edge, I go with one of these darker colors here or here. Usually I start with like kind of a little bit of, I don't know, every time's a little bit different actually, but I'm gonna start with a little bit of Alert first. How's that look? I like to also kind of to like tone down the kind of oranginess and warmness. They have a really nice cool tones kind of over here. There's one called Twilight. I'm going to go into that. I'd say the person who helped me the most to like figure out what I think looks most flattering on my eyes is Tati. But depending on your eye shape, things are really going to be different. Like I've noticed trying to do makeup on my sister's eyes, her eye shape is just different. So you have to kind of find what works best for you. How much time you're willing to commit also is a factor. What else do I want? Maybe a little bit more Twilight. Okay, so looks pretty good. There's no really kind of nice bright shades in this palette, so I tend to go into something else, and that's actually what this butter highlighter is really good for. This Physicians Formula highlighter. It's like a little too dark and glittery for my taste and skin tone, but it's really good as an accent on the eyes. So we're going to definitely dampen the brush before we put that onto the lid. That really helps make shimmer shades pop if you're using a regular brush or even your finger and it's just not giving that punch. Try wetting the brush either with setting spray or just water. I don't currently have a setting spray I like. I used to use one a lot more. I just never found that it really made that much of a difference for me. If you guys have any recommendations for setting sprays, let me know. And this just goes right on the center of the eye towards the inner corner, blending it in there with that darker outer edge. Really pretty. But yeah, I hope to just kind of have fun on this channel, use my time unemployed to do something I've wanted to do for many years, and hopefully get better at drawing my eyebrows on, you know what I mean? So I use that fluffy eyeshadow brush as a highlight brush too. I feel like it works really well for that. This highlight is also very soft. The formula really is like, kind of just falls apart, so you want to be careful with it. Ooh. It is really pretty, it's just almost, I don't know, it was too glittery for me. But it looks really good like that. Whoa. I love doing the boop on the nose. Mia Maples taught me that. Okay, so this is pretty much it. Pretty much the look. Now, like I said, you want to go into natural lighting and see kind of what's what. If you need to do more blending, what things are looking like. I'm going to apply my lip product and then we'll go take a look. Okay, so this is more natural lighting. You can see that highlight is blinding. The eyebrows are still a little bit intense, not as bad as I originally thought. Lips could use a little bit more blending. You just notice these things when you kind of get into the light. Like this side looks nice and blended, this side's a little less blended. So you kind of go back in, fix things up a little bit. Forgot eyeliner, so we're not quite done with that, but don't worry, that will end this video. So I'm just gonna grab this eyeliner that is green. I bought that for St. Patrick's Day. I really use the same liquid felt tip eyeliner pen for years now. This is Revlon ColorStay Sharp Line. The one that Tati recommended that I've liked okay is the Lash Paradise. So I know that's really popular. It's L'Oreal Lash Paradise. I find it's a little thick. I kind of have to go sparingly with it and kind of really run it through the lashes and like kind of get the excess off the tip of this wand. Alright, that pretty much does it for me. It's a really basic makeup look. Hope you got to know a little bit about me. Hopefully these videos will get a higher production quality as they go on, but I really enjoy you guys spending the time with me. My name's Casey, and I really hope to see you back here soon. Have a great rest of the day, wherever you are. Bye!